UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. This is an addition to our weekly update on UFOs. Today is Saturday, and I decided to do a briefing on this because we have two articles here, and it's back in the news. So we'll get into this and so much more, but first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Folks, if you started to notice an increase in the appearance of wrinkles, fine lines, bags under your eyes, or other usual signs of aging, it might be more than just stress from the new year. Your collagen levels could be low. As you've gotten older, you may also found that your nails are more brittle, hair is thinner, and skin isn't as strong, which can be related to declining collagen production. Folks, this stuff works, and I want you to try it as well and experience the amazing effects it's had on me. Get a bag today for 51% off, plus receive several free bonuses before their New Year sale ends by going to healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com, and get ready to look your best in 2023. I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Here you go, and I will push in on this so you can see the title of it. Did aliens land on Earth in 1947? Of course, what we're referring to is this right here. This is a copy of the original paper. I keep it on my desk because it's just amazing to see. Captures flying saucer. And of course, a day later, 24 hours later, they march Jesse Marcel Sr. with General Ramey. And Marcel has no IDs being set up. He's a patsy, totally set up. And they march him into this office. All these reporters are there. So he wasn't briefed. He's caught completely off guard. And you can see it in the picture where he's kind of like holding the weather balloon, looking at Ramey like, seriously? Really? It was a cover-up, in my opinion. But listen to what this person says. It's by Remy Tuman. Did aliens land on Earth in 1945? A defense bill seeks answers. Okay, the Defense Department's annual spending bill requires it to review UFO sightings. Let's just stop right there. Let's just stop right. It's unbelievable. You go back to 2017, and this didn't exist. This type of language in official government documents did not exist. The status quo, the way they dealt with everything, was obfuscate, malign, it's swamp gas caught up in a weather balloon, pulled by a flock of geese reflecting the planet Venus, which is caught in a thermal pocket or whatever. They just make stuff up. So it was ridicule, dismiss. You're a kook, you're a conspiracy theorist, right? You're a tinfoil hat wearing guy. That's before 2017. What differentiates that date? From that moment in time, Tucker Carlson in December of 2017, Commander David Fravor comes on the record and basically states, I saw this tic-tac-shaped UFO. It was something not of this world. What do we do with that? And then from them, we've had a steady stream of people on Tucker. So this is what she says. The Defense Department's annual spending bill requires it to review UFO sightings dating to 1945, the year some believe an object from space crashed in the New Mexico desert. So with all due respect, in my opinion, it's not 1945. She doesn't even have her dates right. It's 1947 where the Roswell crash happens. So it's not 1945. So I don't know what she's talking about, but let's continue. For the casual student of UFO history, the modern idea of life beyond our planet usually dates to 1947. So she corrects herself. Maybe it's a typo, who knows? When a top secret U.S. military balloon crashed in the desert near Roswell, New Mexico. The records prompted decades of conspiracy theories and gave rise to the idea that Roswell was the site of an alien crash landing. Look, we've talked to witnesses. We had another article a couple of days ago, basically, circling around and talking about the same thing. But this woman, with all due respect, and she's welcome to come on the record and defend herself and tell us your sources. Why is she insisting that it's a weather balloon? Conspiracy theorists, if it's just a weather balloon, why would the military spend all this time and money trying to deliberately obfuscate what really happened? Roswell, case closed. And they talked about the crash test dummies that were used, right? The people saw the aliens. Oh, those were crash test dummies. The late Dr. Stan Freeman pointed out that, wait a minute, folks, not so fast, citizen, that those crash dummies weren't invented and weren't used till 1951. So unless the Army has a time-traveling machine, and who knows, maybe they do, there's no way you can get from 51 back to 47. Watch our second film in the series on UFOs, where I sit down with Francisco Carrera and also Preston Dennett, two incredible researchers, UFO researchers, and we're talking shop. And basically, Francisco just starts laughing. If it was a weather balloon, why all this? Why does the government feel the need to constantly, every 4, 5, 10 years, come up, Roswell, case closed, or tell us, why we're all conspiracy theorists? Now, thanks to the new congressional spending bill, UFO enthusiasts may look to 1945 at the beginning of that era. So I'm not sure why she's stuck in 45. Maybe because of the sighting that happened up in Washington State by Arnold, where he saw disc-shaped objects that happened around 45. Let's continue. An amendment tucked into this year's $858 billion National Defense Authorization Act, which funds the Defense Department's annual operating budget, requires the department to review historical documents related to unidentified aerial phenomena. Notice they call it UAPs, but then she says government lingo for UFOs, exactly. Dating in 1945. That is the year that, according to one account, a large avocado-shaped object struck a communication tower. Okay, so now she's telling us in a patch of New Mexico desert now known as the Trinity Site, where the world's first atomic bomb was detonated. So, she goes on, and the article is actually pretty good. The American public can reasonably expect to get some answers to questions that have been burning in the minds of millions of Americans for many years, said Christopher Mellon. Now, Mellon was on Tucker Carlson. That was the third rung of a disclosure ladder. Commander David Fravor was the first tic-tac-shaped object, not of this earth, followed by Luis Elizondo, who said, we've got crashed metal. We've got metal that was retrieved from a crashed UFO. Following by Chris Mellon, former CIA guy, the third rung on a ladder of disclosure, who basically says, okay, we tested the metal, and it's got isotopic ratios not found on this earth. So what do you do with that? They're rolling it out, but then you get articles like this. And, the bottom line, to me, is at least we're talking about it. At least we're talking about it. So here's another one for you. And this is what I really wanted to get into. UFO sightings have skyrocketed since March 2021, report finds. U.S. intelligence agencies received 366 reports of unidentified airborne objects between March 2021 and August 2022, according to the new revealed unclassified version of a report provided to Congress in 2022. A majority of the new reports, totaling 510 over a 17-year period, originated from U.S. military pilots and operators who they say observed strange flying objects while in the sky, according to the report, which the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released in an unclassified form on Thursday. Just over half of the 366 news sightings were marked down as everyday objects after a first pass, but government agencies tasked with investigating the unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, said that 171 required further analyses. Of a new UAP report, 6 were attributed to airborne clutter, 26 appeared to be drones, 163 were characterized as balloons or similar objects. I just love that. The rest demonstrated unusual flight characteristics or performance capabilities. So let's continue. The Pentagon Office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or known as AARO, dedicated to uncovering the origins of several distinct UAP sightings reported by the military. 3 videos declassified in 2020 appear to show unidentified flying objects, and 1 video from 2015 of Navy pilots who captured the footage remark on the object's speed against the wind, and 1 man suggests the object could be a drone. So it continues from there. Look, the bottom line is this. They are leaching it out. We are hearing more and more and more every day about the burgeoning UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena, or UFO, as most of us refer to it. We are going to see disclosure, folks. That's why I'm here on a Saturday in our studio talking about this. Both of these articles came across my desk yesterday, and I just felt, let's do a show. Let's tell the people what's going on. So is it government doublespeak? In some ways it is. In my opinion, and we've talked about this, that people know, the insiders know exactly who it is that they're dealing with. I'll go back to our interview with the Raskins, who basically stated that they were talking to Colonel Hill. Colonel Hill was OSS, which is the forerunner of their modern day CIA. And it was a deathbed confession. Hill passed away a death after he went on the record with the Rankins. And basically he states that he tried to communicate telepathically or open some form of communication with the one alien that was still alive. He was not able to do so. The alien had 6 fingers, large head, black eyes, one-piece jumpsuit. We've heard all this before. I believe that these are avatars. And I'm basically trying to get up to this point. If I'm correct, and I talked to the late David Flynn about this before he passed away in 2012, if I am correct about this, then what we are looking at, these avatars are biological constructs where these entities known as demons can enter into them and manipulate them. Then they can manifest in this dimension. A demon must inhabit something, whether it's a dog, an object, a person, in order to manifest in this 3-dimensional reality. So the dragon knows that. And the dragon goes, I'll just create some sort of an avatar, some sort of a biological suit that the demon can inhabit. What's interesting about this, Whitley Strieber talks about it, and more recently in Preston Dennett's book, where he sits down with this woman by the name of Dolly, who's a lifelong experiencer. And with all due respect, I think she has the Stockholm Syndrome because she's on board literally with them and their agenda. And she thinks it's all okay, including being impregnated by one. And Preston is more than welcome to come on and discuss it. And perhaps we should do a special with Preston Dennett and kind of go back and forth and maybe push up a little bit. But Dolly talks about seeing the grays stacked like chairs. You know when you stack a bunch of chairs like in a hall or a church, whatever, and they can just fit one into each other and they just kind of stack up? That's what Dolly's saying the grays are. They're expendable. They're biological suits. So I came across this. Whitley Strieber was, he opened the door because he was on the ship and he opened up this drawer, as it were, and there they were. And he's kind of going like, what are the grays doing in a drawer? Because they're avatars, in my opinion. And that was confirmed, well over a decade in Preston Dennett's book, where he talks and interviews Dolly, who's been a lifelong experiencer. All that to say this, that this is the coming great deception. I can't stress this enough. We've made 4 films on this. And number 4 is visceral. It deals with the abduction phenomena. There are 4 people who come on the record and discuss this. Al Matthews, who was in number 1, and Al became the tentpole of that first film on UFOs. But Karen now comes in, and she's been impregnated 3 times by these entities. Emil comes forward and tells us what's happening to him since the implant was removed from him. Emil was in Watchers 8. We pixelated his face and disguised his voice. But now he comes on the record and reveals what's been happening to him and how it was in his early childhood. Folks, number 4 is very important. And before I go, I'm going to roll the trailer, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about it for number 5. It's on crop circles. Here's the trailer. I'm getting really close to sending number 5 up to the duplicator. Probably early February, it will be available. As always, we will do a pre-sale. Thank you so much for your patronage. The working title of this is the dragon, signs of the dragon, or the dragon's signature, or the dragon sign. And basically, these crop circles, in my opinion, is the secret language of the dragon exposed. And that's what we do. And what we've discovered, and I want to thank some of the people, and I'm not going to say their names right now, but I will once we get closer to unrolling this thing and allowing the public to see it. What we discovered is absolutely incredible in this film. And there's connectivity, there's convergence between what happened thousands of years ago and what's happening right here in modernity. Thanks so much for watching a special Saturday edition of UFOs. Remember, folks, UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away.